All right, we're going to move to the next point. We're moving fast here, and that is talking about the duration of this bull cycle and how even bull cycles look. This is really important. And this is something we've been talking about for a year. When's it going to end? Is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? Is it 9 months? Is it 2 years? Is it the rise of the super, super duper cycle, which we all want it to be because that means we all make more money, but then we all have to be realistic. And so, what do you mean by this? And maybe we even talk about what is a market cycle. You got a great graph here where you talk about accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown. I don't think most people even understand this concept.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because the technical terms and jargon is quite complicated. So rather than having these technical terms, as we can see here, Brian, we could just break it down into 4 seasons.
Yeah, okay.
And the reason why I think seasons are really good to understand market cycles is, well, first of all, it's usually a 4-year cycle. A lot of people say that the Bitcoin cycle is 4 years. No, actually risk on assets is a 4-year cycle. And that's just because it's around the Fed, again, going back to the Fed interest rates and the Fed rates, because they usually take a 4-year span to forecast, how the future will be. And it's not too long, it's not too short. And it also happens to be very similar to most presidential terms. So the 3 to 4 year cycle is usually a very common thing. And so the way I like to simplify it for people right out there is just think about, as you can see here, maybe spring, summer, fall, autumn, and winter. And it gives you really clear action items for that, right? Like, so in spring, you want to accumulate, you want to grow your bags. When it comes to summer, you water those plants. You maybe add a little bit of capital here and there, so you can even grow your portfolio even more. When it comes to fall, before winter, you harvest your crops. So you take your profits, take that money out. And then during winter, instead of stressing out, you have a really nice vegetable potage, right? Share with the family.
Got it. I love that.
The investment club gives us a chance to think about what wealth really is.
Gives you the keys to open that door to the inside deals.
We get 4 projects presented a week by their associated CEOs.
The deal flow is beyond what I expected. I don't think I've ever seen a model like this that just gives average folks the opportunity to be behind the deals, and that's exactly what we've done.
When I have questions, there's members of the club willing to support and help.
Everybody's on the same wavelength. We just clicked. Everybody listened to each other, enjoyed their company. It was just magical.
It's about educating and making possibilities for everybody in the world.
Joining the investment club can bring you wealth, resources, community, and a more joyful time.
It is one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Okay, and then right now, we would believe we're somewhere in this markup phase.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we haven't hit the euphoria stages yet. I would say somewhere halfway there.
Okay.
Because remember, Brian, we had that target of from $1.5 trillion of total.
We're going to get to that slide.
We're going to get to that.
Coming.
Yeah.
So I love people just to get your head around this. And again, look, it's never predictable. It's never exact. It's never always accurate, but it's a pretty good sign. It's funny. When I got to Wall Street, I remember, I got there and there was like an emerging market desk, and there was like a stock desk, and there was a bond desk and a foreign exchange currency desk. And I kept hearing about all these cycles. There was the Latin American crisis, and then there was the Asian crisis, and then there was the Russian crisis. And then of course later would become the mortgage crisis. And I looked at these people and I'm like, doesn't anybody learn here? Yeah. Because the Latin American debt, every 5 years they would have a crisis. So everybody would buy too much and then it would crush, and then buy too much and crush. And the same thing happened with Russia. Maybe 8 or 10 years, it would do really well and then crush. And I remember asking them, like, don't we ever learn as humans? And they said, no, we don't. We're emotional creatures. 100%. We think we're logical, but we actually justify our emotional decisions backwardated with logic.
Exactly.
Right? And so what happens is, when things get exciting, like the tulip crisis in Holland, everyone wants to get the tulip, and your wife wants a tulip, and your daughter wants a tulip, or the Cabbage Patch doll, or whatever. And you buy it, and it gets crazy, and everyone believes the zeitgeist, and then it gets overbought, and everybody cries and dumps, and then everybody cries, and everybody reevaluates, and they go back in. And so these are real, and as long as we're humans in the market, I don't think that's going to change. Now, it might change what that curve looks like, which I think is where we're going to go next, but that's something that's just human. And so this next slide is really interesting. Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business. which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.